What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and check out the content. And with that being said, man, uh, okay, so the New York Knicks won the what are they calling it? The NBA Cup, the Emirates Bowl, whatever they call it, the championship, and they made they made a big deal out of it, just like the Lakers made a big deal out of it when they won. And I say the same thing, right? Like this mid-season tournament to me is just I don't know. I'm just not really impressed with it. I'm not feeling with it, feeling anything. I'm just thinking that to me this in-season tournament is just it's a weak attempt to get people more excited about the season, right? When I think that there are some other things that the NBA could do to get people more excited about the season, in my opinion, and uh basically what that is just to get these players to play better basketball. Right now, like the NBA, and it's trending that way. I don't want to sound like the whole NBA, is just they just playing a style that's boring. I think it's trending back to the style of play like the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s because of teams like OKC. Their style of play to me is more appealing than what you see from a lot of these teams who just shoot threes and and dunk the ball. So you're starting to see teams come with and they have more strategy. They're starting to bring back the mid-range game and they're utilizing it, right? Which is more strategic. You're seeing more strategy and stuff being implemented in the game when you watch teams like OKC play, the way the Houston Rockets are playing right now. Then you have the Spurs, to me, look really good. Detroit, I like their style of play. Like Detroit, in my opinion, they're looking like the bad boy Detroit's, man. And so yeah, you have some teams out there that are looking really good, right? So I think that to me is what the NBA need to, the style of basketball play need to be changed, right? And I think it's coming back, like I said. So when the Knicks won this this tournament, the NBA Cup or whatever they call it, and I don't know like how Knicks fans feel about it because like the Knicks really haven't won a real championship, in my opinion, since what was it, 1973, something like that, right? That was a legitimate championship. And then so you have this midseason tournament. It's not really a legitimate championship, man. You know, to win it, I think is just a step. It's another step in that direction, But other than that, it's just a midseason tournament. It really don't mean anything. Yeah, and so I was watching. What was I watching? Stephen A. Smith and this guy Mad Dog Russo in their show, right? And even Mad Dog Russo, he said on there, which I was kind of surprised to hear somebody on ESPN really to knock this tournament. I would think that the NBA and ESPN on the same side, and they don't really want to talk too bad about it. But Mad Dog Russo, he called this tournament inauthentic, right? And so I'm gonna play
this inauthentic creation to jazz up the regular season, which means absolutely nothing in the big picture. And by the way, last year the winner of the Challenge Cup were the Bucks, who crashed and burned in Indianapolis in the first round with Gary Trent throwing the ball all over the place. And then the year before, the Lakers, who got mauled by Denver. So the idea that this leads to something is a bunch of nonsense. And we're going to celebrate this with hats and banners, a challenge cup. This is like the World Baseball Classic, which I've always killed, by the way. I did with Ohtani and Trout, so I'm consistent. This is stupid. This is not authentic. You are not going to convince a Knicks fan. I'm surprised at Steve, who goes back to 69, 70, who goes back to Carl Braun for.
All right, so that's Russo you hear talking, right? And that's my point, right? So Knicks fans, man, they want real championships. They don't want like this midseason tournament, and that really don't, like, as far as like the history of the game, it really don't really mean anything. They and he's calling it unauthentic, right? Because that's true. The tournament really don't mean anything. When you think about it, also, like what Russo said, you had the Lakers who won it the year before, and the Lakers didn't wind up going anywhere as far as like in the playoffs. They got knocked out of the playoffs early on, and so that's not like an indicator of how good your team is or how much success they're going to have in the later on in the season. It's just not. Then after that, the Milwaukee Bucks won it, right? And again, like Russo said, the Milwaukee Bucks wind up crashing and burning throughout the season because I think that some teams not even really, they don't really go hard because they don't really feel like this is something that's really going to it don't really mean anything, and so I don't see this NBA Cup lasting too much longer, especially when you're getting the type of results. Like if New York don't go anywhere after winning this, I got a feeling that like Knicks fans are really not going to really appreciate it. They're not going to pay this any attention. Um, and when you see the Knicks, the way they were jumping around and celebrating, I can kind of get that. It's almost like towing the company line. Like they if they had a loss, I don't think it would have been a big deal to them. But since they won it, they try to act like they're happy and satisfied with it, the same way the Lakers did. I think the Lakers, they hanging banners and they celebrated with champagne and all this stuff like it was a legitimate NBA championship, which is not. Which the fans don't see it like that. I think, like I said, I think the players kind of get excited because they want to toe the company line and stuff like that. But other than that, man, I think they should do away with it. I do like those courts, the design of the courts that they playing on. I think that's pretty cool. But in a nutshell, this Emirates Cup or NBA Cup really don't mean anything. And I think it's really, in my opinion, I think it's an insult to the fans, right? When you try to get fans excited about an in-season tournament that has no bearing on what happens later on in the season, and then later on in the season, teams who have won this NBA Cup don't even really do too good, right? So I think the Knicks should really be focusing on trying to break that drought that they have as far as like not winning no championship. Like that should be their main focus. If they can win the Emirates Cup or this NBA Cup on the way to getting an NBA championship, I think Knicks fans would probably much rather see that. Then that's something that gets, the Knicks fans say, "Well, and we even won the midseason tournament, right? We won the NBA championship and we won the midseason tournament." But by itself, I don't think that this in season tournament is going to really mean anything. And when you have teams who don't win an NBA tournament after winning that midseason tournament, that even lessens the value of it. That lets you know that either other teams are not really taking it serious, because now you're having teams win it and crash and burn or get knocked out of the playoffs early. Teams who win it are not really, not really the best teams. You know, I can see if OKC would have won it. right? OKC, if they would have won it and then they wind up winning another championship behind it, then that would give it probably a little bit more legitimacy. Be like, okay, the best teams in the league are really trying to win it, or if the Spurs had won this, right? And then the Spurs go deep into the playoffs and they battle with OKC, you gotta have because they have to have some type of way to follow up. And it got to be like almost used as a barometer to see, okay, so the teams that usually win this midseason tournament are going to be in the thick of things when the playoffs get here. And so if New York don't make the play, or well, New York probably will make the playoffs, but if they don't do well in the playoffs, then that's going to be another. I think it's going to be a knock on that midseason tournament. So um, that's my take on it. I agree with the guy, Mad Dog Russo, that this tournament really is, in my opinion, it's just inauthentic. And then they need to find a way to authenticate it or even get rid of it. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.